Hi, this is Mike, PC31, the Vinyl Policeman, and this is my thread response to Christian over at Front to Back Vinyl. And Christian disappeared for a while because he had a medical situation, some cataracts which needed removing, but that's, thank goodness, has been done now successfully, and Christian's well and truly recovered from that, so that's great news. Changed his channel name, so we need to build up his subs to get him back where he was before and beyond. But this is, as I say, this is a great thread that Christian's put together, and it's basically named 3 artists, 3 albums over 3 decades. And the angle I've gone for this one is I'm going to go for 3 punk warlords, but I'm not going to show their punk albums. I'm going to show a little bit later in their careers, basically. One of them a really early album, then later in the careers. But 3 punk warlords, 3 records over 3 decades, and I'm going to start off with Hugh Cornwall of the Stranglers. And first album I'm going to show is Hoover Dam, this one, which is still in stream. So as we know, Hugh was with the Stranglers from 74 through to 90. He's made 10 solo albums since then, so lots has happened post the Stranglers. But this is an album from 2008, his 7th solo album, post-punk, alternative rock. He was over in the States touring, and he went to the Hoover Dam, and he was really, really impressed by it. So at that when he was there, he actually said, right, I'm going to name my next album the Hoover Dam. He thought it was a fantastic monument, and I think he suggested at the time that Alfred Hitchcock should have made a film just all around the Hoover Dam. But anyway, very good stripped back album, very sort of like simple basic production. This is kind of especially some of the tracks here, they're a bit of a return to the Stranglers. Actually, there's a couple of tracks in particular where you've got a really grungy bass on them, very Strangler-esque, but there's some good strong songs. As I say, simple production. Hugh Cornwall, electric guitars, vocals, Caroline Campbell, bass and vocals, Chris Bell, drums. Just a really basic setup produced by Liam Watson. Yeah, this is a good album, actually. I play this one a fair bit, and it's got some good stripped down basic post-punk type material. So that's Hugh's 7th solo album. Second one I wanted to show from 2018 is an album which actually turned into a double album. So this is his 9th solo album. It's called Monster, and I saw Hugh Cornwall a couple of years back, and I got him to sign this one, which he did. He's a very cheerful chap, Hugh. But he signed this one. This is a really interesting album, actually. The first, so I say there's 2 records. So the first record is basically all about famous individuals. And so the first one there, if you see, is called Pure Evil. So that's a song about Evel Knievel. So all of the songs are about famous, well, no, not all famous people actually, but mostly famous. There's one song there, Le Grand Dame. Le Grand Dame is about his mother, who I think she passed when she was about 98, and she sounds a fascinating lady, and obviously Hugh is very close to her. Hedy Lamarr, the most beautiful girl in Hollywood. Mr. Leather was about Lou Reed. Bilko, Phil Silvers. Robert was about Robert Mugabe. There's a couple actually, Robert Mugabe and Ducey Coochie Man, which is about Mussolini, Benito Mussolini. And apparently with those two, obviously which would regard as quite villains, Hugh picks them up at a time when they're still kind of young and still open to kind of ideas. And I said when they're quite young and revolutionary, and so he doesn't actually write about them at their lesser moments. There's another one here which is called Attack of the Major Sevens, which is about the chord Major 7, which Hugh Cornwall discovered quite late and thinks it's a great position on the guitar. So it's good. Really interesting songs. There's some good strong material actually. Production's a little bit simple again. But yeah, they're pretty good songs. The second one, called Restoration, which a record company suggested doing, is basically acoustic versions, just voice and acoustic guitar, of old Stranglers songs. You've got Outside Tokyo, Black and White, Let Me Down Easy Souls, Don't Bring Harry, Goodbye Toulouse and Ratagus, yeah, No More Heroes. Yeah, from a real spread of Stranglers albums, actually. But yeah, that's quite an interesting album. And I think the Restoration one, the acoustic, Hugh actually did that in his home studio, and it was deemed strong enough to go straight onto record. So, because they were thinking about going to the studio with it. So yeah, Monster from 2018, a celebration of 10 lives and or 9 lives and 1 guitar chord. And the third one from Hugh Cornwell is from 2022, and this is the last tour I saw him on, actually. It's called Moments of Madness, limited edition mint pearl vinyl. Moments of Madness, mint pearl vinyl. This is kind of a stronger production, decent songs. I mean, it's not an absolute knockout album. I mean, I actually prefer Hoover Dam for the actual material, but it's quite strong. I saw him play quite a lot of these songs live, and yeah, they were pretty good. So Hugh Cornwell in his solo years. Okay, so my next punk warlord is none other than Johnny Lydon and the wife. This is Johnny. This is the wife. We saw him a few years back and had this photograph taken, and because I'm a fantastic husband, I got this cushion made for my wife as a Christmas present, and she absolutely loved it. Why, it stuck out in my room. But yeah, there's Johnny with my wife, so they're over there. So John Lydon. So the first album I'm going to show is one which I've had for ever, 79, November 79, so the Metal Box. And I got this one way back in the day, and yeah, mine's in really fantastic condition, actually. Sometimes you see these really rusty, and probably, as you all know, this is based on a film canister, and you've got 3 records inside, which are notoriously hard to get out. But I won't get them all out because they are very difficult. But you've got 3 45 RPM records inside there, and there we go. Yeah, Metal Box. So Albatross, Memory, Swan Lake, Pop Tones, Careering, No Birds, Graveyard, The Suit, Bad Baby, Socialist Chant. Yeah, it's a real kind of game changer, this one, in 79, where obviously it's the second album, not the first album by Peel, of course, but this particular one's such a dub classic with Jar Wobble. Yeah, excellent album. Saw them again recently, actually. Saw them in July, and they played some tracks from this, and brilliant. Next album onto the show was from John. So that was 79. This is from 1986, and this is probably my favourite Peel album, and it's Album. I absolutely love this one, and this is the one I say, for 1986, which has got Rise on it, and this is the album with Stevie Vai, with Ginger Baker, Sakamoto from the Yellow Magic Orchestra, produced by Bill Laswell, and I think that's got a tremendous amount of importance for this album, because he knew Ginger Baker, he knew Stevie Vai, and the other great musicians on this, pulled them all together from a session point of view. I think it was one of those situations where Stevie Vai certainly was on tour at the time in the States, and it was quite difficult to get everybody playing together, so a lot of the album was recorded separately. But Stevie Vai went into the studio, and I think he was only in there a day or so. Johnny wasn't there at the time, but when John first heard what he'd done, and Stevie Vai was still in the studio, this is the second time they were in, Stevie didn't know what Johnny was going to think of it, but he absolutely loved it, and he said, "How did you know what I had in my mind? You played all the right parts, etc." So this is obviously one which I've got signed by the great man with his traditional boobies. But absolutely fantastic. As I say, it's got Rise on it. Terrific album. The production is superb. Bill Laswell, really, really good. Fantastic album. And the third one I'm going to show is from 2023. This is the Last Pill album, and I saw this tour as well, End of World, and he signed it again there actually. So I've met him quite a few times, and he's always really good fun, real gentleman. And that's a ticket from the last time I saw him. But the tracks on this album, and again, really good production. Penge, superb, brilliant live track as well. End of World, Car Chase. There's some fantastic tracks on this. My only criticism of this one, actually, and I know Steve Carson thinks exactly the same, where it's a 45, although it's kind of, 12 tracks on the album. 1, 2, 3, 6, 13 tracks on the album. It's on 2 bits of vinyl, but it's 45 RPM, so you feel as if you're constantly up and down. So I'm a traditionalist. I like the single album, 33 and a third, that's what you want. But nonetheless, well forgiving, brilliant album, absolutely love it. So my second punk warlord, John Lydon. Okay folks, so my third and final punk warlord is none other than Joe Strummer. Joe Strummer, it had to be, didn't it? But what I've tried to do is pick out some perhaps lesser known records from over the period. So let's go for these tracks were recorded in 1975 and 1976, and it's on the 101ers, Joe's band before the Clash. And the 101ers, who were basically pub rock band, and Mick Jones and Paul Simonon saw Joe playing with the 101ers, and the Sex Pistols actually supported the 101ers at one stage. And when Joe saw the Sex Pistols, he knew where music was going, and so he was persuaded by Mick and Paul to and Bernie Rhodes to join the Clash. But yeah, this was actually released in 1981, and it's a compilation of the times that the 101ers went in the studios, as I say, November 75, March 76, April 76, Jackson Studio, Pathway Studio, BBC Studios, Maida Vale, but the Roundhouse Chalk Farm recording just on cassette by Mickey Foote. Mickey Foote was obviously always with the Clash and produced the first album. Yeah, it's a really great album actually. Let's Get a Bit of Rockin', fantastic opening track. But you've got Chuck Berry covers, but Junko Partner makes an appearance actually. Gloria, Keys to Your Heart, which was a single. Yeah, there's the back cover. But yeah, so this is from 1981. Elgin Avenue Breakdown, and the 101ers, they were named, that was the number of the house that they were living in as a squat at the time. So yeah, terrific album. Let's jump now all the way to 1999, album that was released. I could have easily gone obviously with the 3 big Mescalero ones, but I'm not. This is one which is kind of I don't know, is this kind of an official bootleg? I'm not sure what you call it, but it is available kind of in the marketplace. And it's basically Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros, House of the Blues, LA broadcast from 1999. And so, double album. That's the tracks on the album. And you can see those. So this is basically the Mescaleros on tour. And let's have a look here. So to promote the album, so that's X-Ray Style, that's the first Mescalero album in 1999. So Joe and the Mescaleros embarked on a tour of England, Europe and North America, and on the 6th of November 1999 the band put on an extraordinary show at the House of Blues in Los Angeles, performing new tracks from Rock Art and the X-Ray Style alongside a number of classic Clash songs and reggae covers. The show was recorded for live FM radio broadcast and is featured in its entirety on this LP. That's the inside cover of the gatefold. There's Joe in the middle there. And yeah, it's fantastic album. It's an FM broadcast, so the actual quality of it is just superb. Double album, black vinyl, nothing out of the ordinary there. But Yeah, as I say, it is available. You can get a hold of that. I think it's fairly limited numbers, but you can get a hold of it. So, and the final one, the third one I'm going to show is from 2002, and again, I've shown Streetcore, the last album, so many times because it's one of my favourite albums ever. But what I'm going to show is one which has been released in several different formats. It was a Record Store Day release the last time round, actually. Originally a bootleg, but it's been officially released now. And that's the Acton Town Hall in London. And this is the Fireman's benefit concert that Joe and the Mescaleros did. But the reason why this particular show was so noticeable was because Mick Jones was in the audience with his wife and child, and he got up on stage. He wasn't, I don't think he was invited as such, but Mick got up on stage and he played the encore numbers. So he played Bank Robber, White Riot and London's Burning. And although it wasn't, so it's Friday 15th of November 2002, and although that's not the last concert of Joe, obviously he passed away the next month in December 2002, so this is one of the really last shows that he ever did. Benefit concert for the striking firefighters. And I've got 4 copies of this, but bootlegs and various other things. But this particular one, this is on the see-through, double album, but see-through vinyl. There's lots of different kind of spin-offs of this particular gig. I mean, one of them, which a lot of you have probably seen in the marketplace quite a lot, is a 12-inch EP, the Acton EP, and basically this is just the encores. This is where Mick joins the encore. So Bank Robber, obviously White Riot and London's Burning. I'll say that's a bootleg. But yeah, fantastic. So that's for you then, Christian. So please sub Christian. Need to get his subs back up where they were before. But 3 punk warlords, so 3 artists, 3 albums, 3 decades. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that, folks. See you again soon.